First Lady Melania Trump represented the United States at the UN.
Pardoned January 6th rioter Jake Lang has been charged with making threatening statements.
All that and more, the morning broadcast starts now. Morning Panthers. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd. I'm Grant Hudson with my co-anchor Jake Lazar, and these are your morning announcements. Election Day is this upcoming Thursday. This entire week, candidates have been passing out candy, campaigning via social media, and simply talking to you about what their set list of goals are for next year. Panthers, make sure to choose the candidate based on what vision you have for next year at Miami Palmetto Senior High. Tomorrow, all of the candidates will be gathered in the courtyard for the annual Meet the Candidates event, where you get to hear out all the candidates, receive many goodies for one last time. Continue to push for their support via social media and by word of mouth, since that is how you get your desired person to get elected. Remember, voting takes place during both lunches at the Media Center. See you all there.
March 1st, 2026 marks the beginning of Women's History Month. This month, we aren't just looking at the past, we are celebrating the courage and innovation that have shaped our world today. Did you know this celebration started right here in the U.S. as a local week in California back in 1978? It grew into a national movement because people realized that the stories of women were too often left out of our textbooks. Today, we honor the trailblazers who demanded a seat at the table. Throughout March, we'll be highlighting legends like Alice Paul, who fought for the 19th Amendment and women's right to vote, and Katherine Johnson, the NASA mathematician whose human-computer calculations sent the first Americans into space. We also celebrate milestones like the Title IX legislation, which ensured that everyone has equal access to sports and education right here in our hallways. Women's history is human history. This month, we challenge you to look beyond the names you already know and discover the scientists, activists, and leaders who are making history right now in 2026. Happy Women's History Month, Panthers. And now for our athletics segment, brought to us by our athletics reporter, Juliana Barreras.
In Palmetto Sports News, brought to you by the Panther Sports Network, our tennis team has a match against South Dade today at 1:30. Also, our baseball team has a game versus Braddock at 3:30. Our girls flag football team has a game versus Ferguson at 3:30, and our softball team has a game versus Coral Reef at 7. Additionally, boys volleyball plays Braddock at 6, and boys lacrosse plays Palmer Trinity at 4.
Now for 3 things you should know. Here's Taylor Bouchard with our first story.
In a major development of its nuclear defense policy, France is set to boost its nuclear arsenal and extend the deterrent to cover other European countries. In a speech in Brittany, President Emmanuel Macron explained the changes as a response to an increasingly unstable strategic environment. Quote, "The next 50 years will be an era of nuclear weapons," end quote, he said. Speaking to naval officers, he said the number of French nuclear warheads would be increased from their current level of around 300. He said 8 other European countries, the UK, Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Greece, Sweden, and Denmark, had agreed to participate in a, quote, advanced deterrence strategy.
First Lady Melania Trump presided over a United Nations Security Council meeting on children and education in conflict in New York on Monday, as the U.S. continues its military action in Iran. Her remarks centered around the role of education for children in advancing tolerance and world peace. It is the first time the spouse of any world leader has presided over the meeting, which Trump did on behalf of the U.S. as it assumed the rotating presidency of the UN Council this month. The First Lady also offered her condolences to families of U.S. service members who have been killed, though she did not explicitly mention any particular military action. She had also cited the reports from Iran about an elementary school strike. Iranian officials say a strike hit an elementary school in the town of Manab on Saturday, killing 153 people. Iran blamed the U.S. and Israel. Before Monday's meeting began, Iran's ambassador to the UN, Amir Saeed, said, "It is deeply shameful and hypocritical that on the very first day of its presidency of the Security Council, the United States convened a high-level meeting on protecting children."
Pardoned January 6th rioter Jake Lang has been charged with making threatening statements about one of the officers he faced off with at the U.S. Capitol. Lang was seen on camera at a January 6th 5th anniversary event this year, telling Metropolitan Police Commander Jason Bagshaw that he should be, quote, put down like a dead dog and hung in front of the Capitol. Lang was part of the brutal battle between Trump supporters and police at the Capitol's Lower West Tunnel on January 6, 2021, which is also where Bagshaw faced down the mob that day. Lang now faces a misdemeanor charge in D.C. Superior Court, with prosecutors alleging his statements against Bagshaw constituted threats. Lang, a white supremacist and pro-Trump influencer, was among the more 1,500 January 6 defendants. Trump pardoned upon his return to office in January 2025. Lang's actions at the Capitol were extensively documented in cell phone, body camera, and CCTV video. He bragged about his actions on Instagram, calling the mob an organized unit of patriots trying to take on tyrants. That's all the news for today, Panthers. Make it a great day.